Agiye Hall has transferred to Texas. That's the breaking news. Alabama wide receiver, Steve Sarkisian, at the very least familiar with him from the recruiting trail when he was at Alabama. Agiye Hall transferring to Texas. And you want to know who's reporting that? The teleprompter. That's who's reporting it. What do we think about this, by the way? Agiye Hall is a guy who didn't play at Alabama a whole lot. Certainly wasn't because he lacked the physical potential. It's because everything from the neck up was far from what Nick Saban and his coaching staff demanded in order for you to get on the field at Alabama. Sometimes guys need a change of scenery. Sometimes guys are just troubled. Agiye Hall is way too young for us to draw a conclusion as to which way that falls. Maybe Alabama just wasn't for him. It's part of the recruiting pitch at Alabama. It's not for everyone. Maybe it just wasn't for Agiye Hall. Maybe Texas will be for Agiye Hall. I'll tell you this. It's always fun to look in the transfer portal and to see a bunch of former stars next to a kid's name from high school. And you watch the last spring game, for example. There's no doubt physically what Agiye Hall can do for you. What are they trying to do at Texas right now? They're trying to overturn a culture. They're trying to inject what they want into that program. And they're trying to rid themselves of a lot of the past issue. It's easy to see the physical potential in a guy. Let me tell you where the risk is here. The risk is in what we don't know. Because we don't know. We have no character evaluation on Agiye Hall. We don't really know what went wrong at Alabama. But I can tell you this, you better have done your homework if you're Steve Sarkisian. You better have done your homework if you're Texas, because they are not a rock-solid cultural force over there that stood the test of time, and year over year over year they've been a proven commodity. They're very much a work in progress. You got to be very careful. It's a necessity that they had to go in the transfer portal this past cycle. Trust me, we talked about it a lot on this show. Who do you add and what do you add with those folks you bring in? It's very important. The who is Agiye Hall in this case. What are we getting? Well, we're getting a supremely talented player. What else are we getting? That's for us to eventually find out. That is hopefully something that Steve Sarkisian and his staff have a very good read on. I don't doubt they do, because otherwise I don't think they would have rolled the dice here. They already figured to be a very good offensive team this fall. So hopefully they did a very, very strong and well-vetted assessment on this, and they just realized Alabama wasn't for him. Give him a change of scenery here. This isn't even the first Alabama transfer they've taken this past cycle. So we'll see how that works out. There is no doubting the football ability of the guy they just picked up, though. I mean, it's a really good thing when the tangible that's in the room you can look at and say, I don't have a doubt. You can look at Agiye Hall and say that.